Yesterday was a bit of a detour on this path of peace that I'm pursuing. Uh, I caught myself being petty and passive aggressive in yoga class. Um, so the day started out really well. I was on lesson 111 in A Course in Miracles, and which really shifts into a new gear in terms of asking more of us in terms of our practice periods. So it asks for a practice period first thing in the morning, every hour and half hour throughout the day, and then last thing in the evening. And I started so good. Like just the way the day unfolded, it actually allowed for me to really participate fully in those practice periods as much as I could. And so I was feeling really good going into my yoga class. I, had my practice that I was going to, kind of meditate on in Shavasana. And I walk into the class, and I've got a spot that I prefer to practice from. And they're all nicely lined out with little mat markers and things like that. But as I got in there wasn't somebody directly in my spot, but she was new to the studio, and she was kind of covering over like 6 spots, which got me triggered. And then so there was her mat on a number of spots, and then she had a pile of blocks and a strap that were covering 2 others. And so I kind of moved my mat a little bit close to her blocks, which I look back on and I saw as soon as, a few minutes into my Shavasana, I was like, ooh, that's a little passive aggressive. So I did my best to, kind of send out good vibes for the rest of the class. But it's interesting as I've been paying more and more attention to my patterns. Like just subtle little things that I do when something doesn't go the way that I want it to. And yesterday was such a good lesson for me. Like, I think I'm doing everything right that I can. I had a good conversation with my parents in the morning. I had been doing my practice. Work-wise, I was productive as anything. And then I get to class, and it kind of all falls apart because of something that's quite minor. And so I've really been seeing these patterns show up in me, like things that just knock me off my game. And it's something like my attachment to, where I practice in class. And it's been pretty humbling to, kind of see how I let things unravel when stuff like that happen. It's very much the opposite of peace for me. And even I can do it in, some, veiled ways that, may not on the outside be evident to a lot of other people, but man, now they're sure very evident to me as they happen. And the lag time between, when I start a thought pattern or when I start behaving in a certain way, and my awareness of it has just shortened. And I'm also doing my best to learn how to correct these without holding on to the guilt of it. Because, that doesn't serve anybody either. So yeah, this was a nice little opportunity to reflect on one of those detours that I caught myself in yesterday, and yeah, continuing to work on just how to notice those patterns showing up in the moment, and hopefully bypassing the act. So I heard recently that we're responsible for our second thought in our first action. Yeah, I'm looking to shorten the circuit in getting to my second thought and being very present to the action that I take around it. And so that's a reminder and my takeaway from my lesson yesterday.